welcome to the Sunday morning coming down GT Snow Racer 5000. Everybody at the top of the hill. I am very attractive, and with me as always is the human Ukrainian tractor, Michael Vegas.
I'm not even sure what that is.
What? Have you not been following any news?
I've not heard this news, so please elaborate.
Okay, so, Russian tanks fuck up, run out of gas, break down, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ukrainian farmers are just going out with their tractors and stealing the tanks. Like a lot of tanks.
Oh, Martin. Sir, you have fucked up and not downloaded the skin pack.
What the F?
So, what you guys are missing out on, unfortunately, is the number 28 car driven by Max Simmons, which is appearing as a black Mercedes to you, is actually a pretty sweet looking anime car. And because Martin didn't download the livery, it's not there. And I imagine we'll also be missing the Red Bull Audis, which, so, of course, there is Red Bull, the energy drink, the sponsor, the sponsors everything in motorsport known to mankind.
Thanks, Red Bull.
And you can see the Ayrton Arsenault here with the blue, kind of the Red Bull blue color. They've done like a sponsor they're calling Red Bull, or Bull, pardon me, as their team name, and it's kind of cool. But again, we don't have it because someone didn't download the sponsor or didn't download the liveries. Martin, we're gonna have words about this. This is not the first time you made this mistake, and I'm very unhappy with you.
There will be consequences and repercussions.
I mean, I don't know about consequences and repercussions, but there'll be strong words.
I'm gonna tease him a little bit.
Teasing, lots of teasing. We're finishing up qualifying here. Got a lot of new names to the field. We got Mr. Centaure, Mr. Karakov, Pablo Cruz Gomez. He's been around before, but he's back again. James Jackson, new face of the grid, as well as Devin Tullock. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing all of these correctly, and I'm probably not. A. Willis, I think it's Anthony Willis. I could be wrong. Could be like Andrew Willis or something.
That Willis
is a new face of the grid, and the return of former ESR Academy driver Inu Lugoshi to the field. So, interesting stuff. Ori Tan is back. Wesley Stokes is here for the first time in a little bit. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this series goes, this new Sunday GT Challenge series, which is always a bit of a tough one because Sunday is always a bit hard to get people to race on because you're dealing with just a lot of things that demand people's time, family, church, football, other sporting events, actual racing. And it's all a little bit problematic, but we got to field the 24 cars here for the first round here at Kyalami, and I'm hoping it's going to be really good. So, hoping to see some really good action here today, and it will be Mr. Senatore on the pole position at the moment.
Senatorio?
So, talking about the number plates here for a hot second. The white number plates are the A's category. We've seen this with 3D speed and so on. These are the fast drivers. These are the really good ones. The silver number plates are what we're terming as club drivers. This is both silver and bronze drivers this time around because there just wasn't really enough of them to have two separate cups. And the red ones are people who have, to date, not gotten a rating within ESR. And as you can see, most of them probably will be joining the Ace Cup when it comes down to it. The only one that may or may not is Mr. Gomez. It's a maybe. Not sure. He's down in 11th place. We'll see how he does. So we got a Lexus on pole, a Mercedes in P2, and then a Porsche, and then another Lexus. Got a pretty good Lexus team, actually, with the three newcomers, Senatore, Jackson, and Tarakov. And then we've also got a team of Porsches, which is the AXRT crew, Albert Arjona, Xavier Castaño Muniz, and their honorary non-Spanish member, it seems, for this round, Josh McLaughlin, who's down in 19th place. So I'm expecting those two teams to be kind of the top end, but the Red Bull team, Spencer Taft up there in 6th place, doing pretty well. Jeremy Reeder and Ayrton Arsenault on row 5. So they got some pace here today, and we'll see what they can do. Got a couple of Nissans in the field who were, I think, alarmed to realize that they had picked a car that is not super competitive. But it is what it is. And James Butler and Inu Lugoshi will soldier on in the number 18 and 23 cars.
Soldier on my wayward son. Unless you go to Ukraine and then you're going to lose your tank.
I do have to kind of say that Connor Costantini, the 905 racing crew, as well as Tom Waz, I think they made a mistake. They've gone with the McLaren 720s for this series, and they've been putting up some really good results in the Bentley Continental, in the 3D Speed series, and I think they should have stuck with that. They were really making some strides, and you know, a little bit of a spoiler here, just a slight one. You can see them down on the grid. They are not going to go really all that much forward. So I think they made a little mistake. But we'll see how the season goes as we approach the green lights here, and we're going to go racing at Kyalami soon, and we're going on board with Oulton.
And they black flag the entire fucking field.
Oulton is one of our BMW M4 drivers. A couple of them in the field. We got Pedro Gomez as well. That's the new hotness, the new popular car. Super overpowered right now, but hopefully it'll come down to earth at some point with some BOP adjustments. Whoa!
Yeah, crop dusting.
Oulton, I don't know about that. That was. Oh Lord!
Hello. Oh,
We got all kinds of carnage. We got dust. And we pick up on board with Sean Kenny. Sean Kenny running side by side with one of the Ferraris that is, well, the only Ferrari in the field, I think. That is Gianmarco Silvestri. And in behind them, that is James Butler and Lugoshi, the two Nissans. Oh no! Butler spins around his brand teammate. Evasive action in the background from a number of cars.
I see in the background they are jiggling the Jello flag.
They are. Nissan on Nissan violence. I can't even comprehend that. I saw a Nissan GTR today, actually, on my walk.
Must be nice to be able to walk.
Byron still can't walk. But there is a Nissan GTR in my neighborhood. As a newcomer, Devin Tulloch. That's a flag we've not seen in ACC before, Byron. Jamaica. Oh, 3 wide. 3 wide through Crocodile. I was hoping we would see that because I saw that while I was free camming and watching the race for, you know, bad behavior and building my files and whatever. And, yeah, we did catch it on camera. That's a butt-puckering moment and a half. Josh McLaughlin's made his way up to 11th place after starting in 19th, I believe. So he's on a good run. And back at the front, Dan French in 6th place. So does Senatore, Simmons, Arjona, Reeder, and Arsenault are up to 4th and 5th place after starting on row 5. So a hell of a start for the Audi crew. Dan French, Dominic Turcotte. It's not Turcotte in behind him, actually. That is Terekhov and then Turcotte. Okay, so that's the order. And then Taft and Silvestri rounding off the top 10. So all 3 Audis in the top 10, and all 3 Lexuses. So the teams are working pretty well. Only one of the Porsches. Looks like Xavier Castano Muniz was caught up in the carnage. Side-by-side action with Arsenault and with Reeder. And Terekhov, who's already gotten past Dan French this lap, says, "Thank you very much. I would like that position." And the 2 Audis fighting has not worked out in their favor. It's just let Alexis into the fight. As one of the Audis goes off in the background. Oh no! I think Reeder just got taken out by his own teammate.
Reeder has become illiterate.
Spencer Taft was also off in the background, and I think it was Reeder getting nudged around by his own teammate Ayrton Arsenault through Crocodiles.
There's a lot of infighting going on here. I like it.
A lot. A lot of infighting. We have to make a note of that to review that on the stewarding. As we are on board with Jeremy Reeder as he's trying to make a recovery through the field. That is Pedro Gomez up ahead of him. And then Cliff Hemian, Oriton. That's not Tan, I don't think. So I think Tan has gotten past one of the 905 McLarens. And has moved up a spot as we hop on board with Dan French. Not really sure why Dan French is not part of the team. They have an open spot. But their good buddy Dan French is giving him the cold shoulder. He's too good for them, Byron.
I agree.
It's letting them know that he's too good for them. He's a pro driver. He's an ace.
Hell yeah.
Dom Turcotte. I wonder if Turcotte's running a custom livery. He didn't submit one for the package, but the all black car suggests that he is running a custom livery that he has not submitted for everyone else to use, which I think is very rude. I've never really understood the point of running a custom livery that only you can see, because you can't see it during the race. So this is what everyone sees, Dom. You might want to put the livery in the package.
This is also my least favorite thing about Trackmania.
Ayrton Arsenault looking to the inside of Terekov, but I think Terekov is probably... Well, okay, I say that. Terekov goes super off track, super deep in turn 1 and loses the spot. Pick up Josh McLaughlin battling with Sean Kenny and Gianmarco Silvestri.
Giancarlo Esposito Jr., the senior, the 14th.
Every time you bring up Esposito, I'm going to tell the Phil Esposito story, so I don't know why you do this.
Do it.
Well, so
I dare you.
Those who don't know,
double dare you.
I got 2 Phil Esposito stories, actually. You. Number 1 is Phil Esposito was he played for the Boston Bruins for a long time, was a dominant forward.
Correct.
And when he was being traded, he kind of knew he was being traded. Like, it's, not a terribly well-kept secret. And his coach, Don Cherry, and the great Bobby Orr come to his hotel room. And they've got, somber looks on their faces, obviously coming to bring bad news. And Phil says, I know I'm being traded, but if you tell me it's the New York Rangers, I'm going to jump out the window. And Don Cherry's reaction to this apparently was just to go, Bobby, open the window. And the second Phil Esposito story is when his brother debuted for the Chicago Blackhawks, I believe, as a goalie. He phoned his mother, and his mother asked him, how did Tony do in the game? And he's like, he did well. He let 2 goals in, but he had like 24 saves. She's like, who scored the goals? He's like, I scored the first one. She's like, and the second one? I scored the second one. Why are you making your brother look bad? As Tom Waz gets shuffled back behind Jeremy Reeder there, and I think we'll probably also get shuffled behind Xavier Castano Muniz is behind them. The Nissan of Ino Goshi battles with Wesley Stokes in the Lamborghini Huracan. Okay, it's a Lamborghini. I was trying to remember what livery that was. Oh, Tom's off the track. That 720, I think, is driving him a little bit more than he's driving it, if I may be blunt. And James Butler at some point slipped to the back of the pack, so something has happened to the KCMG Nissan. And it looks like Anthony Willis will not be joining us today. He is still in the pit lane.
What you talk about, Willis?
Back to the front of the pack with Vincenzo Senatore leading the way from Max Simmons. Max Simmons has been on a hell of a hot streak. 4 straight wins in the 3D Speed Series. He's had some big outings in the Super Series as well. He's blossoming into one of the top drivers in ESR. Byron, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like the proudest uncle in the entire room.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Max Simmons.
Oh, fuck that guy. I mean, did I say that out loud?
No anime car for Max Simmons on today's replay.
That shit ain't kawaii.
Indeed. I think you'll like his livery when Martin gets it all installed in there.
I would assume so.
So it's Senatore leading from Simmons, Arjona, Terekoff, Arsenault, Turcotte, French, Taft, McLaughlin, and Kenny, your top 10. So Taft and Arsenault are still sticking around in the top 10 despite being, top
goons.
Good, solid club candidates. I don't want to downplay them as drivers, but they are driving above and beyond what I would have expected. Quick correction here on the number plates. Albert Arjona, who is being shown with the silver number plate, is actually a ace car. That's a mistake on the entry list, and that will be fixed for round 2. McLaughlin in 9th, under pressure from Sean Kenny. I don't know if we've really seen a lot of Josh McLaughlin versus Sean Kenny. They've been in the same races. It's just they usually tend to be a little bit in different spots on the grid as Kenny slips down the inside there of Lukop and takes 9th place away from the New Zealander. Into Crocodiles.
Sir, is it true that they're thinking about changing the name of Australia to Proto Zealand?
It might be. Kenny's front end is showing some significant damage. Talking about how everything's going to proceed here, there is a 1 pit stop requirement for tires, and the pit window will open with 40 minutes remaining in the race, and will close with 20 minutes remaining in the race. Back at the front, it's Terekoff in the Nitro Corsa racing car. Still battling with Ayrton Arsenault back there. The Nitro Corsa guys are working on a custom livery for their cars, but it is not ready. It is currently too big for our technical specifications. So
it's got like the skin flapping in the breeze as they're driving down the road.
Well, no, the files are too big. Is what
No, I like my version better. I just picture like this fucking half stuck on tarp just flapping around in the breeze while they're trying to race.
I told James Jackson to check in with Justin Swan, who's been pretty good about downsizing liveries. So Justin, if they've not reached out to you, give them a shout and see if you can help them out. Arsenault goes around. That could have been a bump from Dominic Turcotte. That could have been him losing the car as well. Crocodiles has claimed another one. We've had a lot of action through Crocodiles.
What's the deal with Crocs?
Devin Tulloch battling with Rory Tan as well as Pedro Gomez. Tan to the inside. Little contact between the two. A little dirty. Oh, another contact. And Tulloch getting snowplowed a little bit there by Gomez.
Correct.
Got a lot of stuff to check out in the stewarding, I think.
That steward guy, he's going to be real busy.
All right, Sean Kenny looking back at Josh McLaughlin. They are now battling over 10th place instead of 9th as I think James Jackson has overtaken both of them. That's Gianmarco Silvestri in the Ferrari making a... I'm not sure if that was a serious overtaking attempt or just kind of one of those, oh crap, evasive action moments. against Josh McLaughlin, but contact between Silvestri and McLaughlin into crocodiles again.
I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend it twice.
Looks like Silvestri made the gentleman move and let McLaughlin have that spot back, but crocodiles has been... It's always a turn that has a lot of, we'll use the term action in it. Spencer Taft looking back at teammate Ayrton Arsenault as well as Dominic Turcotte. They try to catch up to Dan French. Arsenault getting a little bit wide there. Little out of shape. Still good battle at the front between Senatore and Simmons, which we've not seen a lot of. But I think that's because of just the action we're seeing throughout the field. There's a lot of fighting going on right now. Couple of cars on the comeback mission. Castano Muniz, for example. Wesley Stokes. Further down the order than you'd expect them to be.
Or is he?
Out of shape there for Dan French. And he's going to lose 2 spots as both the Red Bulls make their move. Might also lose a spot to Dominic Turcotte. Now, you would have thought the Audis would have learned their lesson about fighting with each other, but it doesn't look like they have. Spencer Taft and Ayrton Arsenault battling into turn 1. Turcotte battling in the background with Dan French, and looks like French is going to hang on, and Taft is not.
Dan French and his cousin, Dave Spanish.
Dave Spanish. Ricky Spanish.
Sí, el diablo.
Ricky Spanish, one of the fine characters of American Dad that is just terrible, although they will still always all fall to Principal Brian Lewis. I can't believe you're an educator, Brian. It's mostly administration.
El Lobo Negral.
Yes, El Lobo Negral. I would like you all to give her a warm welcome, and by which I mean the hello, not the sexual maneuver, which you all ain't long enough for. On board with the race leader, Vincenzo Senatore. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I might not be.
You're accusing him of being a senator?
Dominic Turcotte continues to battle with Dan French. Well, a senator, but not an Ottawa senator.
That seems fair.
James Jackson continues to work his way through the field up to 9th place. He's catching up to this fight pretty quickly. On board with Dominic Turcotte. Stokes and Castano Muniz have overtaken Tulloch, who's dropped down to 17th place. I demand that Devin Tulloch form a tag team with Josiah Jerome so we can have the ESR equivalent of the Islanders.
That'd be entertaining.
James Jackson getting closer and closer to Dominic Turcotte. And of course, in Formula One news, Kevin Magnussen will be replacing Nikita Mazepin for the upcoming season with Haas.
Du hast?
Du hast, yes.
Tre hast.
Dan French making a mistake there through Ingve. And French is going to get a run on... Or pardon me, Turcotte's going to get a run around the outside. I don't think that's going to work out. The outside run into turn one, or, well, turn two, technically. Doesn't usually work. And a little bit of rubbing between the two cars. James Jackson is licking his chops watching this fight back into Lexus there. He wants it. He wants it bad. And he's looking to the inside of Turcotte. 3 wide. No, not quite 3 wide. And French, unfortunately, overcooks it through Sunrise. And I think Jackson got them both. Turcotte's got the inside line through Club, but it will not work as the pit window is open. And the cars carrying damage might want to get in because we've seen a lot of contact. Connor Constantini is your first in. Byron, the question is over-under. 2.5 cars pit after Max Simmons.
I'm gonna go with the under.
Going with the under. You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say over because lately, and it's insane to think about this, but Max Simmons has been making some strategic calls with his pit stops and actually coming in a little bit earlier. And I could see him going for the undercut here, as Tom Waugh is also in pit lane. So both the 905 cars are in. Also in is James Jackson. I think James Jackson was one I figured would come in early. He's been, and a little overspin there in the pit lane. Jackson has been working his way through the field, so going for the undercut might not be a bad idea at all. That's the Mercedes that's in the pit lane. There is Wilkes, who is, or Willis, who has not left the pits. As Cliff Hemian and a very damaged Porsche limping into the pit lane. That's Josh McLaughlin. James Butler continuing on his way, as does his fellow Nissan brand mate Ino Lagoshi. Number of pit stoppers. Pedro Gomez is in. Devin Tulloch, Wesley Stokes, Xavier Castano Muniz. But not the leaders. Vincenzo Senatore staying out, as well as Max Simmons. There's the pit lane entrance there. Looks like one of the other... that's one of the AXRT cars rejoining the race. Probably Josh McLaughlin, I'd guess. No, McLaughlin's still shown in the pit lane, so it's got to be Castano Muniz. Wesley Stokes with a stop-go penalty. That'll be for speeding in the pit lane. Picking up the two Audis who have kind of lost their connection with Terekov. But they've also pulled away from Dan French. So there is that for them. Who is battling now with... oh, no. Never mind. That is Wesley Stokes, who's down a lap. And still has to serve a stop-go penalty.
And will be deducted 5 coupons from the next McDonald's flyer.
Still a little harsh. But we have math class after lunch, Principal Lewis. Don't worry, I'll write you a note. Dear math bitch, these kids ain't coming to class. P.S. 1 + 1 is nice, but 3 would be even better. Maybe your sister. We will be getting Brian Lewis quotes throughout this entire commentary. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Surprised that Wesley's staying out here because, I mean, he's in the dirty air of Dan French and he's down a lap to French, so there's no... French is not required to let him by, and I very much doubt that he would. I feel like he's probably just slowing Stokes down, and Stokes has got to serve that penalty anyways. There's no sense in wasting time. On board with Jeremy Reeder. Ori Tan, Cliff Hemian, Ino Lagoshi are all in this time around. As well as James Butler. One of the 905 cars there, off track. I think that's Connor Constantini. Battle at the front continues. Simmons versus Senatore. Ayrton Arsenault in. First of the Red Bull Audis. And Wesley Stokes does come in to serve his penalty.
What if I was to say that Wesley Stokes is actually pedaling right now? And you'd be much more impressed.
I'd be very intrigued. Welcome to the fine countryside of Kyalami, South Africa.
What kind of salami?
Kyalami. And French lapping one of the 905 racers there. Heading towards the pit lane once again are the leaders. Does Simmons go for the undercut? The answer is no. At least not this time around. Still following. Ooh, big sneeze.
Are you missing several sinuses because of it?
Possibly.
Skull collapse imminent.
Actually, sneezed out one of my nose hairs.
Damn.
One of the 905 cars off there again. Just a quick note to Connor and Tom, who are running the 905 Shadow Project cars. Choose some different colors, guys, if you want me to actually tell which one of you is which, because you both, I think, have picked the same sort of purpley pink. for your accent color, and there are some very different colors that you can pick for those cars, as been brought up in the commentary before. And it would be great if you pick different ones, so I could actually tell you apart.
Otherwise, the same.
Otherwise, you just are just going to get twice the dumping on, because I'm going to be unable to tell which one of it is. So Tom is going to get Connor's dumping, and Connor's going to get Tom's dumping, plus their own dumpings.
That sounds pretty gross.
It does. So they should avoid that, I think. Battle for the lead continues. Albert Arjona in the pits this time around, so 8 cars left. Sean Kenny will do another lap. We're about halfway through.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
There you go.
What do you think about Sean Kenny's livery there, Byron? That is one of his own creation.
It is grotesque, a monstrosity, and I do not wish to speak of it.
I would like to see a little bit more contrast on the car, to be honest. I think the color combo is a little unimpressive. Dan French lapping Devin Tulloch by process of elimination. There are 2 Aston Martins in the field. One is Dominic Turcotte's black one, and that means that has to be Tulloch. This apparently was Devin Tulloch's first multiplayer event in ACC, so congratulations. Always nice to have a new face to the sim racing community. Jeremy Reeder in, as well as Tarakoff this time. Dan French still circulating, so it is Senatore, Simmons, Taft, French, and Silvestri who have yet to pit. And as I say that, Silvestri's in. Josh McLaughlin did not have a good time at the pit stop, I think. He's fallen quite a ways back, as that is Tarakoff rejoining ahead of him.
Are you going to interrogate Tarakoff?
Maybe. And the leaders stay out for another lap. They've lapped pretty high in the field there. That's Gianmarco Silvestri coming out of the pits behind them. So they've lapped about half the field. We have lost somebody from the race. Byron, do you see a missing name anywhere?
I believe it's Barack Obama.
It's Wesley. We have no Lamborghinis running, so it's got to be Wesley Stokes.
Well, shit. What happened to him? Did he explode?
Spencer Taft and Dan French in the pit lane. Don't know. All I know is he's gone, and that puts us down to 22 cars.
Well, that's 21 too many because it's a war of attrition.
I mean, I hope not.
Only one shall survive.
Kyalami can certainly turn into that sometimes. That is Senatore in the pit lane from the lead. So you won. Max is going to be the last one to pit. Damn you, Max! I was having faith. Max has been showing some actual tactical thought in the 3D speed races lately, and he's back to his old ways again. I hope you get caught in traffic, Max.
Wow.
Not actual traffic, just racing traffic. Sean Kenny battling with Pedro Gomez for 10th place. Pedro. Byron, would you vote for Pedro?
I have not only would I vote for Pedro, but I have voted several times every election.
I don't think I've ever had the option to vote for someone named Pedro. Kenny hanging on to 10th place there, ahead of Pedro Gomez. Gianmarco Silvestri behind him in the Ferrari 488 Evo. Although not directly behind them, there's a lapped car circulating behind them. Not sure who that is. Or it could actually be Max Simmons, now that I think about it, who enters the pit lane. James Jackson's undercut strategy has not paid off as he is still behind the cars he was behind before. I think that spin that he had coming into the pit lane probably playing a role on that. As Jeremy Reeder runs in 15th place. It's Cliff Hemian behind him. The K-Pax car. One of the 905 cars there as well, down a lap. Excited for the next UFC fight card, Byron?
I'm pumped. It's going to be Volkanovski versus, I believe it's a hyena, maybe a few hyenas.
That'd be intriguing. It's going to be Volkov versus Aspinall.
Oh, you're not going to like that at all. I think those guys are like at least 260 pounds.
Nah, I'm going to be fine with it. I don't hate heavyweight fights. I hate like low level heavyweight fights.
Wow.
I hate like Jorgen De Castro versus Carlos Felipe level heavyweight fights. Dominic Turcotte running in 8th place. Shadowing Day in French and ahead of James Jackson. Senatore did come out ahead of, well, didn't come out ahead of Simmons. Simmons came out behind Senatore, to be technical. And it is still Senatore leading the way from Simmons, Arjona, Tarakov, Arsenault, Taft, French, Turcotte, Jackson, and Kenny. So more or less the same top 10 we had before the pit stops. So no real big winners. Gomez is up to 11th. Silvestri, Castello Muniz, Tan, Reeder, Hemian, Tulloch, Lagoshi, Butler, McLaughlin, and then the 905 cars of Waz and Costantini. Flashing the headlights there from Senatore. Little bit early. Little bit early, but I would say he's under pressure from Simmons. I'll let it slide. I'm of course known for my kind of anti-flashing rhetoric, because I think that the flashing is, I think number one, a lot of people use it to communicate random stuff that doesn't really make any sense. And I think under the blue flag scenarios, I think flashing the car ahead of you just doesn't generally work. It feels like if the car ahead of you is under blue flag and ignoring the blue flag and ignoring that you're there, they're just also going to ignore the flashing of the headlights. I feel like the headlights, I think, actually work better as a distraction tool when fighting one-on-one with someone, because they actually are aware. Whereas I don't think in this lighting conditions you would actually draw the attention with a flashing of the headlights if they're not paying attention.
I think we can all agree that flashing the headlights means please brake as hard as you can immediately.
Not gonna lie, in one of the practice races we had, there is a driver in ESR, and I'm not gonna name him, but I had specifically told him that he flashes his headlights way too often, because he flashes his headlights a lot. And we were doing a practice race, and he came up to lap me, and he started giving me the flashy headlights treatment, and my car was kind of screwed up as it was. Mm-hmm. And I just threw the brakes on. I'm just like, you know what? This race doesn't count. Fuck you. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't flash the headlights. I'm not saying there's not a time for it. I just think that there are a lot of drivers that overutilize it.
Correct.
And utilize it at times where I don't think that there's actually a good outcome. As Dan French continues to hold off Turcotte as well as Jackson, who they both seem like they're faster than him today. And we'll see how long French keeps them held up. French has been doing really, really well, though, in the 3D Speed Series lately. Some of his qualifying efforts have been amazing. This guy has graduated from the Silver Cup not too long ago, and he's already mixing it up with like some of the really big guns of the ace category, but it doesn't seem like he has quite the greatest pace today, and consistency has been a little bit of a problem. So we'll see what happens here with Turcotte as well as Jackson. And he's not too far removed from Arsenault and Taft up ahead. Oh, Gomez has gotten past Kenny. That battle may continue, though. It's very tight there. Other battles through the field I'm looking for. Not really much outside of the top 11, to be honest. It's a little spaced out. Silvestri's about 3 seconds behind Kenny. Castagna Muniz is quite a ways out of touch with him. Oulton is a little ways back. As James Jackson goes to the inside of turn 2. And doesn't quite get it. Effectively, I'm going to call that turn 1, but there is like this little kink on the start-finish straight that is, air quote, turn 1, as Jackson does get the job done.
No kick, Jamie.
Hemian's a little bit on his own, Reeder's a little bit on his own, Tulloch's a little on their own, Lagoshi's on their own a little bit. Butler and McLaughlin are having a little bit of a fight down for 19th place. Not what those two guys would be wanting. As my phone goes off.
Please excuse the audio interruption as Michael converses with somebody from Senegal.
That's my dad.
Surprise.
Which I'm not picking it up because it probably is. Mike, I need money.
That is possible.
This is likely. Pedro Gomes sporting the 5-time world champion team name. I mean, unless those are your championships, I don't know about this.
Are you saying that he's not the five-time,
5-time,
6.5-time
WCW champion? Booker T, aka Black Snow.
Indeed.
If only your TNA run had been like something other than crap.
Well, I think you're kind of asking a lot from somebody whose entire wrestling career was not that great.
I mean, the TNA was the low point, though.
That's fair. I was never that big. I thought they were a really good tag team, and then he went out on his own, and I just didn't really enjoy what Booker T brought to the table, honestly.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I think I'm maybe a little more up on him than you appear to be.
That is fair. I mean, his matches, him and Rey Mysterio had the same problem. Their matches were always exactly the same matches. They always had the same spots. Nothing new ever happened.
They were fairly formulaic. I'll say that. But I think you can say that for a lot of people.
I guess.
I think that's almost the WWE goal, frankly.
And therefore, it should be
playing the greatest hits, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was having a discussion with someone about Randy Orton. They were very anti-Randy Orton. I'm fairly anti-Randy Orton as well.
Indeed.
But at the same time, I also realized something relatively simple is that Randy Orton is exactly what the WWE wants Randy Orton to be.
Yep.
So, like, how can you really fault him, sort of thing? Like, he is the prototype of what Vince McMahon wants. So, that's what it is. I am sort of enjoying the Randy Orton, Matt Riddle storyline, though, because I've been catching snippets of it on WWE TV. Because ever since Riddle got put to the main roster, I've been, like, tuning in, like, once every 3 weeks sort of deal. And it's kind of interesting. It's showing a different side of Randy Orton, like, a side of Randy Orton that's like, I'm actually having fun with this for the first time ever.
That would be interesting.
And thus the RK Bro team was born. Vincenzo Senatore still leading the way. Max Simmons still very close. They're coming up to... not quite sure who that is up ahead. Let's see if I get a better look at what car model it is.
That would be a 1967 Studebaker.
So many people are running some custom liveries this season, so I'm not going to be great at livery recognition, at least for like the first 3 rounds or so. Although I don't think. Oh, okay. I think that's Tulloch. I believe that's the yeah it is. That's the Aston Martin Vantage V8. Only 2 of those in the field. I feel like there should be more. I know a lot of people find the Aston Martin to be a boring car, but it's a really good learning car. It's a really good car to teaching you to enforce the basics upon you, and I think it's underutilized.
I demand that everybody drive a Steve Martin.
Though I am happy that we have a fair amount of diversity in the grid this season. We got some Lexuses, we got some Audis. Still got a couple of McLaren 720s, but not nearly that many. Not as many people went with the BMW as I honestly thought they would. So that's good. And actually, the Audi is the most popular car in the grid. A couple of Nissans even. It's Spencer Taft. I think that's lapping Josh McLaughlin, if I had to guess, because that's not Albert Arjona. Oh, Echelon wide through Crocodiles. Dan French getting shoved a little bit by James Jackson. He's getting a little impatient. Can't say that I blame him. He's been caught behind French for a number of laps now, as we were down to about 10.5 minutes to go in the race. Simmons is very close to Senatore. 0.168 seconds is the separation between first and second place. They're kind of in a realm of their own. They're quite clear of Albert Arjona and Terekov. Looking to the inside there, James Jackson. Nothing doing, though. French will close the door, and that's Max Simmons taking the lead. Max Simmons getting the lead through Crocodiles.
Ha-cha-cha. And he said, see you later, alligator.
He did. And then into Cheetah. Which is that turn there with the big curb. On board with Cliff Hemian. I don't mean to be insulting Cliff, but I'm not sure why the camera is here. We have a very interesting battle for the lead going on and a very interesting battle for fifth. And I feel like the camera really shouldn't be anywhere but those two places. Maybe the battle between Gianmarco Silvestri and Sean Kenny for 11th place. There's the Arsenault train. Arsenault, Taft, French, Jackson, Turcotte. And I believe Josh McLaughlin is the lapped Porsche on the back of it, although Turcotte's fallen a little bit back off. As well as the Porsche back there. But 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, very close together.
So close you could almost taste it.
I mean, right now, I can't taste anything but Faygo blueberry raspberry.
Dang.
I drank a sizable bottle of it on my walk, and the aftertaste is going to dominate my taste buds for like, well, it'll probably be gone when I wake up. Oh, both Audis going off. And the door is open. Taft, Arsenault, Dan French, James Jackson wants a piece. Little bit of contact between French and Taft. This could be interesting. Down the inside, Taft hangs on. Jackson would like to make a move. Jackson side by side with Dan French. That was through Luke Kopp and now into Mine Shaft. And it's going to be Jackson in the Lexus. Ahead. Inside line for Crocodiles, though, goes to French. So tight. Dominic Turcotte's in this fight now, too. Cheetah, side by side still. Wow. Oh, no! James Jackson lost control. I wonder if he got a little bit too wide there, Cheetah. And that's going to allow Dan French to scurry on away. Dominic Turcotte on the attack now. My dad is persisting with the phone calls.
Is he persisting for a fisting?
Yeah. Unless he has money for me, I'm not really interested in what he has to say.
Little known fact, Mike is a loan shark.
Only to my dad. And really not, because loan sharks make money off of it. I am losing money. That man owes me $6,000.
It's a lot of grands.
It's a fair amount. Dominic Turcotte. Spencer Taft. Looks like Taft is having a little bit of problem through Lucop. I've seen a couple of times he's gotten a little bit offline. Be the place I would probably attack him if I were Dan French. As Max Simmons looks back at Vincenzo Senatore, having finally overtaken him. And has the lead with 5.5 minutes to go. They head into Sunrise. And then into Club. That's one of the Nissans getting out of the way there. I think that's Legoshi. If I recall correctly, he's the one running the custom livery Nissan, and James Butler is running the KCMG Nissan.
Who are you calling Gauche?
Legoshi?
Well done.
Whoa! James Jackson is having all kinds of snappy moments with that Lexus, which is weird. It's usually a fairly stable car. I wonder if he's got some damage on the car that we're just unaware of.
Well, sir, I believe he's missing half a nostril.
James Jackson running a little bit wide there. Don't see anything physically wrong with the car, but we've had 3 or 4 moments of him just kind of losing a little bit of control. As Josh McLaughlin is now all over the backside of Legoshi. That is a battle for 18th place. That is taking place behind this battle for 5th. A couple other battles are starting to shape up further down the field. Javier Castano Muniz is catching up to Sean Kenny and Gianmarco Silvestri. That could be an interesting 3-way fight sometime in the near future. Devin Tulloch is now within a second of Cliff Hemian. And similarly, like I said, McLaughlin is caught up to Legoshi and is they're both being caught, albeit slowly, by James Butler. As there is the battle for 11th place. Silvestri ahead of Kenny as well as Castano Muniz. James Jackson. That's a lapped car in his rear view there. And then Dominic Turcotte in the Aston Martin. Back to the front of the field, and I'd like the camera to stick here a little bit longer. Max Simmons versus Senatore. Torre, still battling for the lead. Thought about it into Ingve, and they will probably have 2 more minutes to go around this track. Or 2 more laps, I should say. As you get the big Coach Dave Academy sponsorship in the background. Simmons needs to be precise and tight here for these last 2 laps under immense pressure from the Lexus. And Pedro Gomez putting a lap on one of the 905 cars.
But did he put 905 laps on all them cars?
I like the idea behind Pedro's livery here. You know, Brazilian flag themed. I like it. I am, however, going to say that he may want to rethink this livery because it is very eye-catching. And what I noticed while watching this race is that if he ever gets into trouble and ever hits somebody, I am going to notice because my eyes are instinctively drawn to that car. When I was up in the, I was free camming and basically helicoptering camming, during the race. I remember seeing like, I don't know, 8 cars coming down the start-finish straight and getting kind of like, almost all of them were kind of getting a little sloppy, a little pushy. And my eyes are like, that car right there is getting a penalty. And I'm like, this is why you don't go with that kind of livery. It's just my eyes are glued to it whenever it's anywhere near me. So we ride on board with Inu Lagoshi. He has lost out to McLaughlin. Still is the top Nissan in the field. It is both good and bad to have a recognizable car. That's all I'm saying.
As long as you're way up front.
Well, if you're way out front, doesn't matter. Got a yellow flag going there as the leader laps somebody. Appeared to be at the side of the road. Probably one of the 905 cars. Whoa!
The leader has finished the race.
Big power slide from Lagoshi, and that's going to lose him a spot to James Butler, and that's no longer going to be the top Nissan. Max Simmons is 1.7 seconds ahead of Vincenzo Senatore. Albert Arjona will round off the podium. So we got a Mercedes, a Lexus, and a Porsche on the podium. Tarakoff in 4th. Ayrton Arsenault is going to hang on for 5th place, it looks like, ahead of teammate Spencer Taft and this man, Dan French, as well as James Jackson and Dominic Turcotte. Waiting for the final 10 to be rounded off here. Looks like it's going to be Pedro Gomes. No one's particularly close to him.
Pedro's gums.
Xavier Castaño Muniz did overtake Sean Kenny. We didn't get to see that. She's in 12th place for the second AXRT car. And looks like Devin Tulloch at some point did get past Cliff Hemian. And we have just one car left to finish. That's Ori Tan. There he is. Beamer. And we'll talk about standings real quick. Obviously, we're one race in. The standings are more or less what you see there, but we'll talk about the team standings. Nitro Corsa Racing, 106 points to lead the championship from Red Bull Racing, which is on 79. And then it's AXRT on 72, followed by the 905 Racers on 19 and 11 points for Oni San Motorsports, which fielded just one car today, that being Ino Lagoshi. Alex Shine's also on that team. And in the club sport competition, Ayrton Arsenault leads the way from Spencer Taft, Ori Tan, Jeremy Reeder, and Devin Tulloch. So that brings it into Kyalami. We'll be at Barcelona in 2 weeks' time. Byron, do you have anything else you want to add?
I think everybody should just drive shopping carts. It should be a tandem event. Somebody pushes, somebody steers.